Alrighty then, welcome back. The last video, the one before this, I said I wasn't sure if I would show you the finished product because the point of the series was the technical side, and then decided that that's unsatisfying in an emotional sense. That you want to see the whole thing finished. So here we go. First concern, of course, with this kind of a thing. Oh yeah, all the finish has been redone, as you can tell. It wasn't in bad shape. It had lots of scuffing and little chew things in there, and some what was like paint in the recesses in a few spots, and getting that out was kind of tedious. But in any event, it wasn't difficult. And so that's been refinished, and the stem itself had these, again, from like a drawer full of tools rather, that had been shook around, or maybe in the glove box of a car that had some sharp objects in it, something like that. That it had some. They weren't chips, they weren't gouges, they weren't dents, whatever. It was really odd. In any event, I took out as much of those with heat as I could, and there's still a vestige of like 3. If you know where to look, you can find them. But I did not want to alter the shape of the stem by chasing them. Just gave it a polish. Whatever came out, came out. And so I'm happy with the result. And now this kind of a thing, when anybody who messes with pipes and repair work knows that the stem fit is very difficult to achieve a good fit, because wood is squirrely to work with regard to humidity and expansion, contraction from heating and cycling of moisture when you smoke it, and so on and so on. And also a good fit is down around 1/1000th of an inch. Too much, it's really loose, kind of dangerously loose, and too little, and you cannot get it in there without risking a crack. So here's how this thing fits, and I'm happy to say it's an absolutely perfect glide. What I like to think of, or have called for years, a hydraulic glide. And as you can see, the alignment from the profile and the top view, meaning the coaxiality, I'm not even sure if that's a word, but that the stem did not move in any of these directions. So there we go. Now a few final words on anyone attempting something like this. Remember that the wood, or rather it's not going to be any better than the wood you make that little spool thing from, the little barrel that goes in there. And this is actually the adjacent piece from the slice I took out of a block to make that in this case. And as you can see, this is prime high-grade stuff. There isn't a flaw in this anywhere. And had there been, it wouldn't have been used for the purpose. I would have moved on to a different piece, done it again. So start with really good wood. If it's soft or splits or cracks or something, all your work's for nothing. And a word about the concept of composites, like plywood and graphite, or rather, I'm sorry, carbon fiber. Those they make airplanes and sports cars and stuff out of them now. And it basically means you layer stuff at 90 degrees. Like plywood, each layer runs 90 degrees from the one before it, and that adds considerable strength. So in this case, because the cracks were running lengthwise and the growth rings were tending in that direction, they're not exactly, but close enough, that I thought the best approach was to try to make as much of a composite out of it as circumstances would allow. So oriented the grain on the little barrel gadget so that it was, this is the little barrel here, end to end that way, so that the grain is actually running like so. And between that and the fact that the glue used was designed for a very specific use, which is holding together wooden airplanes that humans fly in. Sounds like a joke. It's not. They're called experimental aircraft, home-built aircraft, and they use spruce and basswood and stuff like that. They've used wood on airplanes for many years, and the glue was formulated to adhere to wood better than any other stuff out there. It's the best. Anyhow, between the two pieces of wood and the glue holding them together, I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that this is now stronger. The pipe's shank is now stronger than it was originally, which is kind of a neat feeling because it has been modified. I mean, a collector who knew what he was doing would look at the end of that and say there's been a repair here. But on the plus side, it's actually functionally superior. And from the outside, of course, you can't tell anything was ever done. So, all's well that ends well. And I'm going to append some still shots to the end of this video right now. And we'll call it a wrap. And I've got a few more things in mind, so stay tuned, as the saying goes. Take care.